data, so he can say at the start of the day, what are my open inquiries, what is hot, what is cold, what do I need to do. So it's basically your dashboard when you come into the office is what do I have to do next. And at the management level, you have different dashboards where you can look at a much higher level. This is a little more in depth. When you click on each, you can actually list out the names of the open inquiries, which are in the draft stage, where I've sent samples. So as I said, if you have a pipeline, you have 4 or 5 steps. Each step you have detail of which customer needs what action, and all of this is tracked through the dashboard. So before I kind of go into the service, I think the most important for the management is to track metrics. So you want to have a clear view of what your sales pipeline is and what is going to close when. So if you had to forecast for your manufacturing when your sales orders are going to get closed, so this is the CRM enables you to see in each level, 20% of your leads are in closure sales. So you would know, there are approximately X amount of leads that are probably going to close in the next 1 month. So you can start planning your manufacturing cycles accordingly. Stay on top of customer proposal processing, right from inquiry to a manufacturing solution. Keep an eye on the inquiry status. Manage your whole sales team, sale contacts, next contact dates all in one place. So again, a lot of the communication happens via different things. Somebody would have sent you an email or a text message or a WhatsApp. So everything can get detailed in one place. Like, the last communication was by X person. So even when that person leaves, you have the whole communication history with you. So you're no longer lost when a person leaves the company. The next two, as I said before also, the great thing about the CRM system is the analysis. So you can start analyzing the win-loss ratio of your inquiries and proposals that you have done. And the drop-off rate at each stage. Again, as I said before, it's by salesperson. So you can kind of track effectiveness by salespeople. But if it's not a salesperson, maybe it's a territory. Sometimes Gujarat may be performing better and some other state maybe not. But that's the information you need, so you're not penalizing everybody for the overall numbers, where some territories may be outperforming and some may not be. Year on year, right? How are you improving your matrix year on year and against your forecast? So if you have forecasted that for Q1 you're going to close X amount, are you achieving that by month? You can start tracking that. The next module which I will talk about in detail is service management. Service management is after sales service. This aim to maintain a great supply chain management and extensive support to the customers after the sales has occurred and the delivery, obviously. So the first is equipment management. So it stores the complete details of the customer and the equipment or the product that you have sold. It has details on the warranty, when the warranty would actually start for a customer, the period of it, the validity, and against it keeps a number of the service calls reported for a particular equipment for a particular customer. So for each customer, you will come to know if they have purchased 100 hours, if they've used 10 hours or if they've used 90. And if the warranty period is supposedly, from Jan to December and they are in July and they've used already 100 hours and the call comes up, you actually could know before ahead and start upselling them saying your warranty is coming up, it's time to renew, things like that. Service agreements provides details of the AFC, maintains records about the visits done by the engineer, payment cycle, monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever it is, notifies about the expiry of the debt, and customers can know about the payment due dates 2 days before prior by email. And And this is configurable, so if you want them to know even beforehand, that's also possible. Service calls. So we help you calculate the total number of chargeable hours utilized. There's an extensive knowledge base of articles for engineers for quick resolution of the issue. So CRM is built on Azure and it has a lot of artificial intelligence capabilities built in. So there are two scenarios which you may use is that if you're servicing a particular customer, you can go through the knowledge base and come to know that for this customer, this is the history of all the cases logged and what was the resolution given. So you have the whole background of the customer before you go in. And then second, you can search even by the type of the service they have requested. So if it's for a particular problem, you can look at your whole knowledge base to see whether that particular error occurred for another customer and how it was solved. So all of this intelligence is based in the system itself, and you're just leveraging it, through the CRM. And obviously, you get all the details. It's cloud-based. You are getting it on your mobile or any device. It's any modern client that you use today. Asset management. So it's inventory management or your tools. It tracks tools by the engineers. So you know which engineers have using what tools from your inventory and notifies whether they are available or they are already in use by somebody else. And it shares the details of the engineers using that tool. So this is again a quick dashboard of the some of the dashboards that we have created. So as you see, I don't know if you can see clearly, but it says all the open service calls that are logged in the system. Then you can change it by the number of days outstanding. So here it says call open for more than 5 days. So you know which have gone unattended for more than 5 days, so depending on your SLA commitments. And then also on the type, whether it's a breakdown or an installation or preventive maintenance. So all of those things are tracked here. So you can start tracking all of these things. Another dashboard is, it just notifying you of when your service agreements are due. So if you need to tell your customers, hey, it's time to renew, you can start sending them emails or call them. And then month-wise calls by customers, engineer-wise calls, telling which engineer has is overworked or you can distribute it. So some of the scheduling is also possible here through CRM. So I think these are very high-level slides. I hope I've covered somewhat what our solution for sales and after sales is. As I said before, we have our consultants here, so if you want to see a demo, feel free to walk and see an active working demo of our CRM system. So with that, I think we want to move on to the next section. Yeah. So any questions before we move? Maybe I can help answer some of it, which is targeted before we call it the panelist, which is a more free-flowing discussion. So any question on our CRM solution?
Any customer feedback kind of customer feedback?
One second.
Customer feedback kind of data analysis and data gathering.
Yes.
That they give the rating and they give the answers to your. How was the problem also, in what time they have solved the problem? Is there any?
Yes. So there is.
Is there any problem with that?
Yeah. So that is also part of it, and actually, this I think will not work. But there's actually a social analytics feature also in CRM, where basically, if somebody is talking about you or your brand on Facebook or LinkedIn, So those things do get captured in, and there is a whole geo-targeting also available. So you get to know what your customers around the world are talking about. So there are two parts to it. The quickest thing is, for a local company, immediate service, customer service feedbacks are captured in the system. As I said, we have capabilities in the system. So if you're doing a manual thing right now, just for your customer to sign something, you can just take a printout and plug it in, so you have that data in the CRM. Or to that extent is that if you have given like a mobile or a tablet, you can actually give that to your customer and ask them to fill out a survey, and that gets also feed into the CRM. So there are multiple things, so all of that are built in. You had another question? Yeah. Again, two parts to it. So in tech, we ourselves are mostly focused on manufacturing, trading and service kind of industries. So most of our customers are there. But worldwide in CRM, Microsoft has use cases for all industries. So I know in legal industries and financial service industries, this Microsoft Dynamics is used worldwide. Were you thinking of a particular industry or an application? So as I said, see, the Microsoft Dynamics, it's very flexible. So in retail, Vishaka, do you have any? Sorry, can you repeat the question? Can you speak?
Hello.
Yes.
We are more project-oriented company.
Right.
So from that perspective, is I'm asking currently this year what is being used, what kind of industry is involved.
So it's not. So I would not say it's just popular being Microsoft Dynamics CRM. It's used for actually all types of customers in all different industries. And partners like us, even in project, we have done many implementations. So we have customers across manufacturing, service, trading, as I said before. There are other partners that are similarly focused on finance, for retail, for legal. But we can talk offline on some of the project work that we've also done. I think there's one more question.
Product like e-commerce where customer can create his own quotation and he can upload his purchase order is available in the system?
There's a customer portal as part of the CRM, and in tech we also ourselves have developed an e-commerce portal with similar features where we give view to the end customer, so they themselves can request, as you said, now people don't want to talk, they want everything done online. It's like if I already know what I want, we can give, there's a customer portal feature that gets enabled, and sorry, I can't see you. Yeah, so that gets activated along with the CRM.
Right. And right now we have our own ERP system.
Yes.
And suppose we go for this ERP system, how difficult or how complicated to integrate all inventory and all costing related data? Let's just say that salesman can create quotations for a big equipment sitting at customer place. So all the costing data should flow from ERP to CRM system. So how is difficult or easy to integrate with our ERP system?
Right. So thankfully over the last couple of years, thanks to Mr. Satya Nadella being there, Microsoft has opened up quite a bit. And sitting just next to you is Alpesh Bhai, he's one of our customers. We have integrated Microsoft Dynamics CRM with SAP. So before everybody would say, oh, Microsoft and SAP are competitors, but now we co-work. So our whole space has just expanded as to the customer base we can target. So we've already done, just as an example, with SAP, but similarly, Microsoft Dynamics CRM we can integrate with other systems as well. We'll have to know the capabilities of the other system enabled, because there are obviously certain formats by which, but most of the top ones like SAP, Oracle, we have already done that. Yeah.
So we have one product, so we technically have one company, and we have two different product verticals. For both the products verticals, sales team are also different, so they work individually. So how one CRM we can differentiate for the different teams?
Yeah, so it's very simple. So you can create two separate entities, and each sales will have only access to their data. So they'll not be able to see the data of the other legal entity or the other department. So just like it's all Active Directory enabled, so as you say, it's by the rights given to the salesperson to view or to access what data.
So just to correct it, entity is same, there is no
Okay, it's different departments.
different department.
Yeah, so it's the same logic. So it's by it's using the same Active Directory concept. So the rights are just given to create two different departments, and the sales would have only access to the prospect or the customer data for their basically space. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so we'll move on to a panel discussion. So before that, I would like to welcome the panelists. Yeah. So the next session we have a panelist, and they come from a variety of backgrounds. Some are our customers, some are using CRM but not Microsoft. Some are still evaluating whether to use a CRM or not. Some are on-premise, some are on cloud. So there is, thanks to these forums, we have quite a different couple of people here on the stage. And we wanted to welcome them so that through their experiences also you can ask some of the questions, how they've gone about in evaluating a CRM, or different technologies for their use. Yeah. So first I want to call Mr. Bharat Athya. He's the Associate Vice President for Marketing at eInfochips. Welcome. The second panelist is Mr. Sharad Kumar. He is the COO at Sealand Trucking, and he has vast experience in the whole infrastructure space. Mr. Ajay Trivedi, Director of Sales and Marketing for West Coast Pharmaceutical Works. Mr. Dwipal Patel, Director of Sri Printwell Offset Private Limited. Mr. Kamlesh Kanchandani, Director and Sales Marketing, New Foods. And one of our own customer, Mr. Alpesh Bhai, welcome. He's part of NAC Packaging. And we also want Vishakha to join us because she'll give us a good perspective on also Microsoft and her take in the whole ecosystem.